What's going on? It's Ricki. I'm here with Bryce Vine. You got a show tonight at Marathon, which is crazy. That's where we are right now. This is one of my favorite venues, by the way, in Nashville.
This is the first time I've stepped in it.
Oh my gosh. It's literally one of my favorite places to go for a show because it's so open and like you can move around as much as you want without feeling like you're like stuck on top of each other. Fantastic. So like what I've seen from your shows, that's what people need.
Yeah. And they do end up being pretty close to each other and jumping around.
You guys get rowdy.
Yeah, it gets rowdy.
I saw a video of you doing like crowd surfing on a float and you fell into the crowd
3 times on 3
times?
3 in a row, yeah.
What's your first thought when that happens? Is it like,
let's see what happens?
Okay.
Let's see what I break. And as soon as I hit the ground and I'm like, oh, I'm good. You get back up and you keep going.
If you break a wrist, is that like workers' comp? I don't know how this works for artists.
I have to pay myself.
You pay yourself? Oh, so you don't even, they're not even going to pay.
Who's they?
I guess you don't really have a boss, right?
No.
It's like for me, my company would pay me. Trust me, I've been thinking of any kind of way that I can kind of get something out of them that way.
Oh, this isn't going to work out good for you if that happens then.
I never said that.
Film.
It didn't happen. I'll cut that part out. Don't you worry. I was slick with it.
You just take a baseball bat to the wrist.
But wait, no, you got to come to my office and do it. And then, oh, you're checking out my bracelets?
Yeah. I feel like
we have like the same kind of vibes.
Yeah. These are all ones fans gave to me.
I love that. All mine have like positive affirmations on them.
Love that.
Strength, happy as fuck.
You can break your wrist to get money from your job, stuff like that.
Yeah, break your wrist, get money from your job. It's the only way they're going to pay me.
Bracelet,
Bryce, it's the only way they're going to pay me, okay? All right, let's get into this EP, though, because Serotonin is the name of the EP. And honestly, you listen to it, and it does give you a dose of serotonin. Nostalgia, instantly, I was like, yes, I can vibe with this.
Hell yeah.
I love this. Like, this is really, it's chill. It's your sound, for sure. Like, you have a very specific sound. So there's 2 people on this EP that you collabed with, Joseph Salvat, who I've never heard of before until now, and Feels. And both of them, 2 totally different kinds of artists. How do you pick these people that you want to collaborate with? Like, how do you know they're going to match your sound?
That's the way I want it to be. And it's actually better if they don't.
Okay.
Match my sound and I can figure out a way to fit them in. I wrote the song Grow Up that Joseph Salvat's on in Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree, nice.
Yeah. Totally just dead sober. And
yep. That's what you typically do at Joshua Tree is you go there dead sober.
Yeah. And I knew somebody needed to sing that hook. I just for like a year I didn't know who. And I've been a fan of this guy that a lot of people have never heard of.
Never heard of him.
He's a UK artist. He's a fantastic songwriter. And he reached out to me after he heard Drew Barrymore, and I was like, he said that his boyfriend loved that song, and I like went and listened to his music, and I literally have been listening to it for like the last 2 years straight. So I'm like, this was the perfect song. Let's put him on it. Feels completely opposite side of the spectrum. It's from
like 2 totally different artists.
Lives in Nigeria. But that's what I like to do. I just don't ever want anyone to know
what's coming next.
Put on. And fans like kind of follow it. You know, they're down for the ride. They're just down for whatever you're down for. And if I was going to make fans or send my fans in a direction, like I want them to be interesting people, you know, not necessarily just like featuring Dua Lipa.
Right.
Not that she's not interesting.
I get what you're saying. Somebody that nobody knows. I didn't know, not that nobody knows, but I didn't know who that was. And now I'm interested to go search that person and listen to all of his songs because I know you're on a song with him. So you're kind of reaching new markets and new people and helping other people reach those people.
That's what we should be doing.
I agree. I'm with you. So part of this then was in Joshua Tree where you wrote that song. But when you're making this EP and you sit down and do this, like take me through like the first day where you're like, all right, we're going to do this EP. It's going to be called Serotonin. Obviously you have an idea in mind of what you want it to sound like, right? What are like the next steps? Like, where's your head at? What do you do?
It's a good question. Even just finding the arrangement of the tracks is kind of like a process. You're like, what do you want them to feel first? You think about how the song starts and how it ends and how it goes into the next one. And if that feels right, and if I can listen to it all the way through, kind of like they did when they had to with records, you know, with actual vinyl. If you can do that, then it's probably right. But it's always an annoying process, and I'm never done. I never find a song to be finished. It's just that I have people that I literally higher to tell me that I have to be done so that it can come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you rewritten songs before you got like went insane and somebody was like, all right, it's done?
I've never not rewritten something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never like, there it is.
Right.
My masterpiece. It's like, oh, this is a mess. Let's come back to it in a week and then scratch. Oh, that's a better word choice. Oh, okay. No, that makes more sense. Well, that's kind of basic to say. Let's try to like personalize it, you know?
Okay.
So it
Would
takes
you-
me a minute.
Would you kind of say like you're your own worst enemy in that way?
100%.
Okay. You're just like me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you a Gemini?
I know I'm a Leo.
Oh, even worse.
It's way worse. It's so much worse. I'm very much like what I want everyone to perceive me by the work that I do in a positive way. So like I analyze and overanalyze. Like even when I was thinking about like, all right, what do I want to talk about with this EP? I sat there and I was like, no, I don't want to ask that question. That sounds stupid. But what if I ask it like this? So I'm the same way. Like I don't think you know the amount of times that I was like, what is it that I want to talk about? And like erase things, added things, erase things.
Okay, this is actually super therapeutic to know that somebody else is doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. I drive myself
I'm
absolutely fucking crazy.
so envious of people that genuinely don't seem to care.
Yeah. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
It seems like it would be really nice.
Like just wake up one day and be like, everything that I do today is going to be amazing because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Serotonin's perfect. Just throw 5 of the songs I've written in the last year on it, call it a day. Feel great.
Ignorance is bliss.
The cover art, oh, who cares? Whatever, just do whatever you want. Even that was a struggle, but we found the right one because we all just liked it as a picture of a dog. And
I was gonna ask, do you have a dog? Is that your dog?
no, I'm a dog uncle to many of my friends.
Okay, so it's just a random dog?
It's not even a random dog. It's a fake dog.
So what?
Yeah. We made it on AI.
Stop, that's an AI dog?
That's an AI dog.
That dog is so cute.
It's so cute. And it trips you out, your brain out even more, flip your noodle even more. And is why does it still give you serotonin?
Yeah,
when you see
what?
A fake dog. Yeah, the world is.
I would have literally never known that it was fake. I'm gonna analyze this picture so hard later because I'm gonna be like, where are the faults? Like, what did I miss to not know that that was a fake dog?
There are no faults. I could show you like 7 different images on AI that like look like they're historically documented photos.
Yeah, they're all over Twitter now.
Don't exist.
It's wild. It's really wild.
So at some point, nobody's going to be able to reference Google images at all for the truth.
Which is really scary.
It is scary.
But you're embracing AI because you did the cover art with that, and then you did like AI for one of your music videos.
I think anybody that doesn't embrace where the future is headed is just gonna lag behind.
Yeah,
even though
true.
I kick my feet, even when it comes to TikTok.
Okay, but you have fun on TikTok.
You think so?
I
make it look like I'm having
it looks
fun
like
on
you're
TikTok.
having fun at least.
But I'm really forced by these evil label people over here.
I get it because I get forced to do it too.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I have to do TikTok.
Wow, you guys have no shame.
Yeah, it's messed up, isn't it?
No shame. You're just corporate monsters, just out
It's
to get
messed
us.
up. It's really messed up.
I mean, it can be fun. Though.
It can be. There's some days where it's like, also one of those situations where there's some days where it's like the idea that I have, I'm like, all right, that's funny as hell. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then there's other days where I'm like, I haven't posted on TikTok in 3 weeks. I need to post something. And then I agonize over it. And then I drive myself absolutely insane for something that's so dumb and meaningless in the grand scheme of life.
Yes. But then when we do something like yesterday, we posted one. We had a great show in St. Petersburg. We thought of this funny idea of like posting pictures with an ex-girlfriend, blur out her face, being like how it was and how it's going, using nostalgia as the song. And we were laughing about it for like 20 minutes after we were done with it. It was hilarious. Are we in a rush to make another? No. Do we have to anyway? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so back to the EP.
Yeah.
This is only the first part of a 2-part thing that you're doing, correct?
It's complicated. It's like a relationship with 2 people that don't want to commit to each other. It's the part 1 was just some of the songs. We're putting out a deluxe, I'll call it.
Okay.
Okay, and it's got more songs on it with a new song that I'm putting out called The Kids Are Not All Right, which is definitely a darker version of Serotonin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like completely opposite.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to talk about some things.
I get that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think we all want to talk about and don't feel like we have the right outlet. So it's nice to have an outlet to talk about those things, even if they are dark.
Yeah, and I think it's like once you get to a certain place where your fans like trust you enough to take them somewhere else, I just wanted to talk about how crazy it is that how often we consume drugs from the pharmaceutical industry, so I'm
Okay,
talking about it.
yeah, that's important. That's a real situation that a lot of people are going through.
And I find it very annoying and sometimes just like self-serving when artists just like bring up a subject, they write a song about it, how much like a lot of ways, unless they make it kind of funny and whatever. And I think this is one that we all agree on if we think about it.
Mhm.
Like, whoa, like everyone consumes a lot of drugs, and sometimes people need them, but they don't care whether you need
Right.
them or not.
Yeah.
It's not your friend, and it's just this big, giant kind of evil that's just following us around that we just kind of accept.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that's on what's gonna be the deluxe. So it's only
It'll
is
be
it
on the deluxe.
just one extra song, or are we getting multiple
Oh yeah,
extra
there's
songs on this?
multiple.
Okay, how many?
You'll see.
I
You'll
had to
see.
ask.
I don't
Yeah,
put out
I
a
had to
lot of
ask.
music at a time. I can't, because
I
of
noticed you do like
how we
3,
are.
5. Yeah,
Yeah,
like you drop them every so often, so I get that.
you got to be sure of the little decisions all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, of course, drive yourself insane.
Oh yeah.
Are all the songs on this next drop gonna be, like, around that same idea, a little darker, a little different? Because this
No,
one is
it's
more like
still
daydreaming serotonin, right?
yes.
Like, you related it to daydreaming.
Yeah, it had been a while since I dropped a project. I wanted to make people feel really good and have stuff to sing on tour that just made them feel good for whatever they're going through. Um, and The Kids Are Not Alright is just it is a subject, so
Mhm.
it's just a darker subject. But then there's a song called "Old Reliable" that I think people are gonna love in the same way as the first Serotonin stuff. So a lot of my favorite songs are like really dark lyrically, but they make you feel really
Upbeat,
good.
kind of yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I always reference this "Semi-Charmed Life" by Third Eye Blind.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're talking about serotonin, we're talking about positive things, uplifting things. Daydreaming, you've related to serotonin, like, that's kind of where, I guess, your vibe is when you were making it, or the idea that you wanted everybody to have was kind of like daydreaming?
me and my creative director were going back and forth, known each other since we were kids, on kind of what we used to do before we were here all the time with a cell phone in our hand every moment of the day. Like we're the
Mhm.
last people that really remember that. And we daydreamed. We thought of new stuff. We were creative and innovative, and we had no choice but to come up with stuff just in our head while riding a bike down the street or sitting at home, not having access to everything all at once all the time.
Mhm.
So that was like a big factor when we realized that that's kind of the vibe that we wanted to provide for people. Like if you did put your phone down, you could listen to this, calm yourself down, feel good, daydream a little bit, and then go back to it.
Mhm.
That was the idea.
Okay. When you daydream, what do you daydream about? When you get that chance to actually daydream? I know I daydream about being on the beach. I
Man,
wanna be on the beach, I wanna live in a hut on the beach and not have anything that I have to worry about except for, like, when I'm getting in the ocean, and that's it. That's my daydream that I typically have. Like, if there's ever me at work and everyone's talking to me and I'm not responding, that's what I'm
you're at your
thinking
beach.
about. I'm on the beach and I'm like, "Okay, I don't have to worry about anything except for when I'm gonna put myself in that water and take a swim."
I feel like that's a perfect example of what I think daydreams are. They're an idea of a future that you want to get to,
Yeah.
and it calms you down knowing that you don't have to do it right then, that it can be something that you're reaching towards. You could do this job for 10 years, 20 years, be successful at it, and still get to that beach. You
Right.
thought of it back then. I have little ones every once in a while. Like before I got signed, I had daydreams of singing in front of thousands of people. And now that that's happened, I don't have those anymore. Now it's the next step, going to Africa, singing there, you know, looking at the view from a private plane with all my people on it and my friends and their kids, and I'm looking down at some place that we've never been to. Like that's like the new daydream.
Right. They're almost
Yeah,
kinda like goals now that we're
yeah,
talking about this, and I've
yeah.
never looked
Without
at daydreams like that.
yeah, it's like almost it's a completely natural goal. You're not sitting there writing it down.
Right. It's like
It's
subconscious.
yeah. So you want to end up
Interesting.
on a beach in a hut.
Yes, that's all I
I
want.
feel
I
like you'll
want
drive yourself crazy.
I might drive myself this is
But
what's gonna happen, is that I'll get to that point, right? And I'll love it for, like, 2 months, and then I'm gonna go absolutely nuts and be like, "I need to accomplish something, and I need to do something because that's just who I am as a person." And I'll be like, "Alright, what's the next thing I gotta do?" And then I do the next thing and be like, "Wait, I wanna be back on the beach."
yep, yep. Snap back, snap back.
Yeah. Like, remember when I was just so happy and chill on the beach? Why am I stressed out doing whatever it is that I'm doing now?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the complexities of my brain. It's just that's the way that I work. But I do daydream about that quite often. It's like just getting there.
Yeah, we all want something we don't have, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
facts.
and I think that's also where like it's very easy to like peddle something to you, like the kids are not alright is about just like this will fix this problem, this will
Right.
fix this one, this will fix this one, blah blah blah. Yeah, so it just fit into the whole concept that we had going on here. Seems very broad now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
We're getting pretty deep too here, deeper than I
Wow.
planned on us getting. So, serotonin,
Wow.
what do you do for a boost of serotonin outside of, playing music and writing music and listening to music?
Uh, things that bring me peace make me feel better and bring that serotonin more. Like I started doing yoga during the pandemic,
Really?
which sounds super pretentious. I know it.
No, yoga's great.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the facts. It can be like there's never been a time in my life where I heard somebody say like I just namaste and haven't thought a little bit like shut.
Right.
Uh,
Okay, solid point.
but it was necessary during that time, and it makes me feel so good. Again, putting the phone down. I have no one can reach me for an hour. Stretch it out, sweat, go back to the common world.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big one. Um, Honestly, lately playing video games, like old video games that I used to play as a kid.
Nostalgic ones.
Yes.
Okay, I see that we have a theme here going.
Have you ever heard of a game called Jet Grind Radio?
I have
Probably
not.
It was like the most random one. It's a Japanese game where you're on roller skates and you're getting chased by the cops because you're tagging your gang's logo everywhere.
Okay.
It's so fun.
I love that you're going back to like all the nostalgic things because even when I listened to it, number one, you listen to the lyrics and you go, yeah, I do actually want to go back to that. Like I remember not always having my phone around me and not feeling consumed by TikTok and Instagram and a presence on social media and things like that. And the biggest thing that I had to worry about was like if my parents are going to let me on AIM for an hour before kicking me off because they're like, I need the phone. You can't take up the phone line for 6 hours. Like, get off the computer and go do something.
The phone line.
Yeah, the phone. Yes, the phone. Yeah. The one singular phone that you have in the house that rings and you have to walk to it to answer it. And if you wanted to get onto the internet, you had to unplug it and use the internet.
Wow.
And like, I remember I kind of have to remind myself of that, of like, I have to be my own parent in that sense of like, all right, Ricki, you spent an hour out of nowhere doing this. Get the hell off the phone line.
Do you ever look at your analytics or whatever?
No, because it makes me mad at myself, so I won't do it.
I know.
It goes back to being my worst enemy because then I'm like, God damn it, Ricki, why did you do that?
I was on Instagram for 10 minutes, but it says here that I was on there for 4 days.
Yes. Literally.
Maybe I'm crackhead after all.
Yeah. It's messed up. Yeah. So, I thought about all of that listening to the songs. I'm like, yeah, there are days where I'm like, I just want to go back to not any of that. You know what I mean? Like what felt like a simpler time.
That's pretty much the lyrics for Grow Up.
Yes. That one also hit there.
It's a double-edged sword though, right? It's like, yeah, I don't want to grow up, but also there's a lot of things that have happened in your life probably that you wouldn't want to give up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Backwards. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
So many complexities happening here.
So deep.
I love this. Because again, you listen to the songs. Oh, I appreciate that. But you listen to the songs and like we were saying, it's like instantly you listen to it, you feel good. And you don't get that second to dive deep unless you really think about it. So I'm glad that we got to sit down and like really think about it and dive deeper into like what all of this is about.
We had no choice because I had to understand like every time I have a show and we do all these meet and greets, the most common thing that I hear from fans is like, your music got me through this.
What an amazing feeling to hear that too.
It's amazing. And you really have to like deep dive why that is and like what that was for you growing up. And for me, it was like, I was a kid with depression that was like put on medication at an early age. Didn't really get to have like a personality because I had ADD. So they put me on Adderall and I was an only child. So I didn't really have like communication with other kids in like a normal way. So music was that. It was like, I felt related to through those songs that I would like yell in my room by myself.
Right.
And to hear fans now have that same relationship with my music, it was worth a deep dive, so it's good to know that helps. It's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
If you were going to tell anyone to listen to one song off this EP, what would it be?
My favorite one is either Nostalgia or Grow Up or Stay Afloat.
I love Stay Afloat. It is fun. And also you listen to it and you're like, yes, I dig it. All of them, I'm like, you just vibe with them.
Yeah, I hope so.
There's a
I don't put things
comfortability.
out unless I like them, so
Good.
and
Some people do.
I
So I'm
know,
glad that
I
you don't
know,
do that.
I know. Stay afloat was a fun one. Reading helps a lot too, not with serotonin necessarily, but just getting out of the brain. Stay afloat was like about a book that I had read. It's a true story, like the first ship that ever crossed the Atlantic Ocean or intercontinental. They got stuck in the ice and they were presumed dead for like a year and a half.
Oh,
It's an amazing
wow.
story, but that was just like the background, like staying
Okay,
afloat in the
yeah.
middle of the ocean, whatever. But you should read it. It's called Endurance. It's
I
just
will
an
definitely read it. I
interesting
love
story
reading.
that I didn't know about. And they
Yeah,
all survived after a year and a half of living on ice, clubbing seals, and had to take 800-mile trip in a dinghy boat to a whaling island,
that's
and they all
wild.
survived. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I will definitely be reading that.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for this
for sure.
conversation. I had such a great time.